So off on the final warm-up lap for the 10-lap Ferodo MG Metro 6R4 race goes an impressive field of these 6R4 Metros. Unless you think these are just like any other Metro you can buy out of the showroom, they are not. A V6 4-cam 300 horsepower engine sitting where the back seats should be. Four-wheel drive, 5-speed gearboxes. Very short wheelbase, the cars are almost as wide as they're long, very difficult to handle. They've been designed to be at their best on loose rallying formats, so driving round the bumpy streets of Birmingham at racing speeds should be quite something to watch. The cars now working their way through the Pie chicane, driving slowly on this final warm-up lap down the Belgrave Middleway, going up the slight rise of Peter Barwell Hill. Leading the queue, Tony Pond, the man who was conclusively quickest in practice. Tony Pond, of course, for a long time, one of the top rally men, but also a man with quite a lot of circuit experience. Man who went to the Isle of Man in an attempt to lap the Isle of Man in an ordinary road car at an average speed of 100 miles an hour, and he missed it by only 7 seconds. So there you see the grid. Pond, the pole position on the inside. Alongside him will be Peter Slights, the Yorkshire rally driver who's been dominating this 6R4 championship so far this year. The second row of the grid has local man Trevor Lewis from Birmingham, with Andy Sharam alongside him from Ledbury, with the blue winged white Metro. So 4 white Metros on the front 2 rows. Then on the inside of the third row we've got John Price, the garage owner from Hereford, and Ian Donaldson from Basingstoke with his car. And there you see this traffic jam of Metros. They're all weaving from side to side to try and get some heat into their tyres as they come back down the Belgrave Middleway towards Ferodo Corner. All of these cars, of course, using racing slicks, very wide tyres, particularly at the back, but the engine, the 300 horsepower, going through all 4 wheels. Tony Pond then leads the queue of cars down Sherlock Street towards Loctite Turn. Tony Pond did a 1 minute 40.7 in practice. Peter Slights 1 minute 43.18. So Tony Pond over well over 2 seconds, getting on for 3 seconds quicker than everybody else. Number 3 there, that's John Price from Hereford in the blue car. He's going to start from the inside of the third row. Now the cars coming down Bromsgrove Street, turning into Bromsgrove Street now, in fact, and working their way round for the starting grid. Number 4, Ian Beveridge, the green and yellow car, who's currently lying 4th in the championship. Peter Slights, the championship leader at the moment. In second place, the second place man in the championship isn't here. Third is John Price, car number 3 in the championship at the moment. And there you see Shell Turn, this very tricky corner which has a right-hand entry before a left-hand exit, and that will bring the field back to Bristol Street. And there in the front, number 16, that's Tony Pond in the all-white car, coming now to take up his grid position. 21 cars, and they come into their position. Number 5 already in place is Andy Sharam, but Tony Pond comes in to take his position, number 16, on the pole, and just moving across to take up his position is Peter Slights. So there, Tony Pond through the murky windscreen. Very, very experienced driver indeed. Of course, led the Austin Rover rally team for so long. And second on the grid behind him, Pete Slights. The engine notes rise. This is a 10-lap race. Away they go. Tremendous traction from these 4-wheel drive cars as they all go storming away down Bristol Street. And it's Pond and Slights absolutely side by side, but Pond has the inside line as they go into Molly Slip corner. But I think it is Slights who's gone ahead. We wait to see them through the Pie chicane. No, I think Tony Pond, by dint of that inside line, did in fact get ahead. There they are, jostling for third place, Sharam and Lewis, but it is indeed Tony Pond in the Esso-sponsored car, flapping bonnet from Peter Slights in second place, but they're already in Halford's corner, and Tony Pond sitting at the head of the queue, which is exactly where he wants to be. The cars chirping over the bumps as they come out of Halford's corner, down Belgrave Middle Way and towards Ferodo. Tony Pond then able to dominate the race from the front. Peter Slights, the championship leader, is in second place. Sharam and Lewis battling for third place, but there is number 16, Tony Pond, already safely through Ferodo corner for the first of 10 laps and on his way down Sherlock Street. Cars look surprisingly high, don't they? A lot of them have their suspension set quite high because they spend most of their time doing rallying, but already Tony Pond through Shell Turn to come through to complete his first lap. So it's Pond who leads with Slights in second place. Third now is Andy Sharam, with Trevor Lewis, I think, following through in fourth place. The rest of the field comes storming through. And up to about 120 miles an hour, briefly, puffs of rubber smoke as they brake to come through Body Slip Corner and go on down to the Pie Chicane. But Tony Pond absolutely dominating this race, and he had so great an advantage in qualifying that I have a suspicion that he just wants to hold that position at the front. The battle's going on all the way down the field meanwhile, and you can see them all jostling for position as they come through the Pie Chicane now and on down to Halford's corner. The field already strung out quite a bit because the leaders are at the top of the picture, down Belgrave Middle Way and already into Ferodo corner. The cars all look very identical, but the driving skills, no doubt, quite disparate. Headlights blazing there from Andy Sharam. That's in fact car number 4. That's Ian Beveridge, who's down in fourth place with Andy Sharam ahead of him. So the battle really is for fourth, fifth, sixth place. Number 14 there. That's Ian Donaldson from Basingstoke. And meanwhile, we've already had Tony Pond through at the front as the pursuit comes through the Shell corner. And a great gaggle of cars. There's already some damage there on car number 6. So Stephen Harris from Rayleigh has already had a little bump in the Autoplast car. You can see the front of the wing is hanging down. Now that should make quite a difference to the handling of the car. Number 6 then, Stephen Harris. Where he bumped the car, we don't know. It could well have been in the traffic jam right at the beginning, but he's struggling to make up for that problem. And meanwhile, this is Harris working his way through and going on down the Sherlock Street section, stuck down there in the traffic. Tony Pond currently 1.1 seconds ahead of Slights, with Sharman in third place, Donaldson fourth, Sutherland fifth and Lewis sixth. Through the streets they go, and Pond has moved away a little bit, but not, I think, as much as he feels he can. Well, Derek Bell, you're watching the race with us. These four-wheel drive cars must be quite a problem round the bumpy streets.
Yes, they really must be. What one mustn't forget, of course, is that with four-wheel drive, it means that when their rear wheels are off the road over the bumps, the front wheels are all gripping and pulling them around the corner and up the straightaway. And the same, conversely, when the front wheels are off the road, the back wheels are pushing it. So they have a distinct advantage over the normal single-seater cars.
Well, Tony Pond now 2 seconds clear of second man Peter Slights. Tony Pond in the lead.
I think Tony really is trying to conserve his car a little bit, you know. I'm sure with these turbo engines can be quite temperamental. And obviously he wants to win the race, so he's not about to go crazy. We saw what a wonderful time he did in qualifying. And of course, as long as he can keep Slights behind him, he's going to be quite happy. And I'm sure Slights, I noticed, got the quickest lap just now, so he's certainly on his way and doing a good